Has anyone ever used the site LinkedIn? Do you know LinkedIn? You use it? It's a job. Well, a lot of people think it's a job site. Do you know LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, you use it, I guess, when you're in in business, kind of. It connects you to other people that might have the same interest, or it just like connects you maybe for jobs, or like it's more work related. Kind of like Facebook, but it's more like work and business.
Okay, right. Let me give you a tip. Let me give you a tip on LinkedIn. Most people don't use LinkedIn because they figure that's my dad's or my mom's account because it's for business. The reality is, maybe you sit down with your mom and dad, if they went through their network and you're looking at a specific school, there's probably ways that they can identify people that they know who went to that school that you're interested in. Okay, and believe me, one of the best ways to get into colleges that you want to get into is through alumni, or at least they can tell you what the experience is, and they may have a contact in the admissions area. Okay, so if you go through your dad's LinkedIn, or even if you form your own LinkedIn, you can actually go to groups that may have been set up from those colleges. So it's another way for you to get a leg up on the competition. LinkedIn. L-I-N-G-E-D-I. Like Link. What did I say? L-I-N-K-E-D-I-N. I'm sorry, I'm from Staten Island.
It's like Facebook for professionals.
Yes.
That's what it is. Facebook for professionals. So once you graduate, L-I-N-K-E-D,
Linked.
I-N.
Like I was linked
It's
in.
free, just like Facebook. But if you're trying to get a job, you should put your stuff on LinkedIn. And even if you've had a job at the local supermarket, the local business, list it all down there, because it may help you get another job.
It's not just your parents' site. There's ways that you could use it to find out things. You could find out about careers. Let's say that you're thinking about, I don't know whether or not I want to go into two types of careers, civil engineering or chemical engineering or something like that. You can go and there'll be groups up there about civil engineers or chemical engineers, and you can find out information about them. So I don't want to frighten you with social networks, okay? But you should be somewhat concerned about just the persona that you set out there. But the other thing that I would say to you is that you can use these social media sites for your own benefit. What do we have here? Oh, yeah, here's LinkedIn. Here's the proper spelling. Okay, so you don't have to hear from the Staten Island guy. But these are tools that are out there for you to use. Last thing I want to touch upon is going into college. As I mentioned to you, showed you a number of different ways to use social media. One is obviously to do your due diligence, to go in and do research on the schools, okay? I'm sure that you guys have a very good counseling area. I'm sure that you go through a very thorough evaluation of the schools. Every school has a website, every school has a Facebook account, every school has a Twitter account. Do your due diligence through that. Make sure, the second thing is, make your own site. Whether you use Pinterest, whether you use Facebook or whatever, maybe you like the different schools. Have a place that you can go that can compare the schools. A lot of people now, they're using their Facebook accounts and they're liking, let's say, I want to go to Brooklyn College or I want to go to Baruch or something, and they're liking that, and they're seeing stuff that's going on there. You may be notified of different activities that will allow you to go there and visit them. So whether you do that in Facebook, Pinterest, whatever, use the internet as a way to combine all of your stuff. Very important thing that you should do is you can engage with the schools. If you're on Twitter, you can actually transmit directly to the person who's running the Twitter account. So even though they haven't friended you, they have a name, and you can send a tweet to them and say, hey, you know, who is the contact out at that school, or what's going on at that school, and they will send you a message back, and they may follow you. So there are ways for you to use Twitter. You may not be able to do it in Facebook, because in Facebook you have to kind of like somebody to have a line of communication with them. But in Twitter you can have a direct link to them. And the last thing, how many people have ever thought about doing, for college applications, to do a YouTube of yourself? Anyone ever heard of that? I think we did an article. We did an article on our site about students who were doing that. And basically, schools are very open to this. You know how you do that, what do they call it, a brag sheet? You guys do for college apps? Okay, there are students who are getting a leg up on people and they're creating their own YouTubes. And they're doing a video, they're doing a PowerPoint, whatever, putting it up on YouTube, and here's the story of me telling you why I should go to your school. Yes?
Somebody said that is way easier than actually sitting down and writing about yourself because all of it's just coming out.
Absolutely, that's great. And you know what? Maybe you don't even use the YouTube, but maybe you just go through the exercise of doing it, and that can help you to say, you know, if you sit down with a friend or you sit down with your mom and dad, turn the video camera on and say, okay, tell me about yourself. And you start to say things, and your mom and dad say, oh, well, don't forget you did this, don't forget you did that. So all of a sudden it's all together, and then you use that video to write your brag sheet. But some people are doing these, you know, highly refined types of YouTube. So that's another way that you can use it. The bottom line with all of this is when you use these tools to present yourself in the way that you want to be presented to these schools or to your employer or to whoever. Okay, not just how you want to be to your friends, but how you want to be presented to these schools. And if you do that, it'll work out well for you. Okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's what we have. Any questions from anybody? Yes?
Getting back to the Facebook thing with
Sure.
the colleges, would they know if you were to delete your Facebook and make a new account?
They might. They might. It depends on how closely they're looking. Now remember what I said. Schools are using Facebook to recruit as well as to also evaluate. So if you come in and you've got great grades, you've got a great GPA, you know, you've got a lot of great things, they may very well not look at your Facebook.